Hello folks, Chris Wyndham Woodcraft here from sunny late spring Wyndhamshire. So this video is brought to you today by Samsung S7 Active. New phone to me. I want to check out its filming abilities. I got to get used to using it. I have a couple of adventures coming up and I want to see what's up. You know, how's the sound, how's the focus, you know, lighting, all that fun stuff. Got to experiment. So this is my experimentation video. I'd love to chat about some gear and maybe a couple of things to keep in mind when going on day hikes. Join me. We'll go on an adventure together. It's a little bird's nest I just found on the ground, obviously fell out of a tree. Now we're looking at prime tick habitat, which unfortunately goes to far reaches nowadays. I don't know why ticks are so much more prevalent than they were when I was a kid. So I'm going to tuck into the woods. And I just wanted to say one last little note on the tick front and bugs in general, which are crazy this time of year in Maine. So I've gone away from DEET, and in my experience I've come across a couple of products that work really good. Yeah, I soaked myself down with the lemongrass and eucalyptus one before I came, and the bugs are leaving me alone. Again, it doesn't last as long, but one huge bonus of it is that you walk around smelling like a lemon air freshener. So if you've been hiking on the trail for a few days, you can take a bath in that, keep the bugs away, and also avoid, you know, scaring away your hiking neighbors with your body odor. Hey, there's the first kayakers I've seen this year. Do an extreme zoom and see if I can get them. So that's a maximum 8 power. See if I can focus. Yeah, it's really not focusing on them. That's 8 times zoom. This thing has a pretty smooth zoom considering I'm just pinching the screen with my fingers to do it. This is my trekking pole. It's made by this company here. Let's see if I can get it to focus. Made in Austria. Compradel. I'm assuming that this was sold at EEI. I purchased this used at a used outdoor goods store. It's like a charity type place in Portland. But it's extendable, it's nice. It actually has this big, nice cork top that screws onto your camera post and has a nice big lanyard. But, you know, this is just a selfie stick. It's not staying in focus very good, is it? Selfie stick topper. I usually have the GoPro right on the top of that. You know, and it should be mentioned too that a trekking pole or trekking poles are huge on taking the impact out of your hiking. If you can get used to trekking with them, and it does take a little bit of getting used to, but trekking poles just make it so much better on your knees. And just having this, it has like, you know, the shock absorber thing in it, or like when I'm snowshoeing, having 2 trekking poles just makes it so nice. So I highly recommend giving it a shot. And you don't have to spend $200 on the super nicest ones. I mean, just go to a place like Wally World or whatever and get the inexpensive ones. Try them out. I bet you'll appreciate that. You know, walking shoes, hiking shoes are awesome, but I choose to wear my Keen work boots when I hike because I wear them, you know, 12, 14 hours a day, and my feet are perfectly fine with them. So if I'm going to go do a big hike, why would I put some other kind of shoe on and just stick with what I wear that I know my feet are happy with? So I almost forgot, my knife for the day is my William Collins. I dubbed it the Woodcrafter. That's not what William calls it, but it's an awesome 4mm blade, nice Scandi grind, obviously super hair, pup and sharp. And this is that special hybrid type metal that William uses. I don't remember what it's called. I'll put in a little caption thing. You know, and this has got that cryogenic heat treatment process. I mean, it's just a beautiful knife, so comfortable. Williams handle design, you know, for guys with, you know, average size hands to larger hands, fills the hand perfectly. He put these nice little thumb ramps on here. I mean, Williams just, you know, really skilled knife maker, and his new designs that he's working on, the Woodsman and so on, are just awesome. Definitely a quality craftsman and an awesome dude. I got to hang out with him. I bought this knife and a knife for my wife from William right from his hand at the tailgate of his truck, which makes it even more awesome. Got to share a fire with William and hang out with him, so yeah, I can recommend it. I always have a folding saw with me. This is a steel PS10. It's a little bit smaller than your Baco, but the teeth are so much more aggressive than a Baco that, you know, it really does circles around it as far as cutting speed. I love the Baco, don't get me wrong, but most of the time I have my Big Boy 2000 Silky, which is a monster size saw, but it will do anything, and I think that it is worth the weight. I have it on my belt anyway, so it's not counted on my backpack weight, but I always have a folding saw with me just because the work that you can do with them is amazing for the amount of energy it actually takes to use them, and they're a fair amount safer than you know, machetes and hatchets. This looks like an American Ninja Warrior course. You know Chris wants to climb that thing. Anyone recognize this spot? It's a nice spot. And I'm thinking that, yeah, right here by the river. Partial shade. Right between tree A and tree B. Yeah, a wonderful place to have a brew and talk about some gear. So one thing's for sure. Got to get a better selfie stick clamp for my phone because it's popped off that thing about 100 times. I don't want it to have that happen when I'm going down the river or hiking a mountain. But I just wanted to get this net hammock out of my backpack, and then we'll set up and go over the gear. So this bag is by Geckobrands. It's a roll top waterproof bag. I wouldn't say it's waterproof. It's heavily water resistant. I've used it enough so that I think I probably have to retreat it. It only has one exterior zipper or pouch, and that's where I keep my first aid kit. And, you know, I could probably fit some other stuff in there, but it's got one compression strap, which also is great for kind of fastening gear to. And I put this little Matador, put yourself out there, ground sheet out on here because it's also waterproof, you know, for quick waterproof needs. It's got a couple of D-rings, and the straps are pretty well padded. You know, adjustability, no waist belt, hanger. You know, I mean, all for all, it's a nice backpack. Shannon and I each bought one when Sports Authority was going out of business. They were like $22, so couldn't turn down that deal. In any case, it has one interior zipper pouch that's kind of sewed near the top where you'd be folded down. That's where I'll keep my keys, my wallet, and stuff when I have them with me. I have nothing in there today. And it's pretty simple gear loadout. I have one red bag, which I know the red bag means tools and kind of like kit. And then my schmog, of course, always have that. And I position the schmog in the back so that's right up against the lumbar in my back so that none of the gear is pushing into my back. It's that nice, soft, you know, cushion. And then other than the gear bag and the schmog, I have yeah, that's it. This guy right here is just it's my food bag. Now this is obviously an excessive amount, but I decided to bring some of my Listen to that creaky tree over there. The wind's blowing. Some of the gear I don't use all the time. I have gone to using my awesome heavy cover setup, canteen and cup, and I have the lid here as well. I got a bag of jerky, a Nature Valley, and a carrot. That's the snacks for today's walk. Nice lightweight leather gloves. A heavy cover cup top. And then this is my cook kit, if you will. This is my GSI kettle. In there I keep my coffees, teas, chaga. Don't have any cocoa in here right now. I guess I'm going to be doing cappuccino later. Packages of raw honey. Got my Bushcraft Essentials pocket stove that I got from Scott. Boom. My Trangia. And the Sacred Spoon, so I always have a spoon in here, and also, so I have this spoon in here. It's just awesome. I'll keep it in here, and it all fits nicely. So in my little gear bag here, again, these are not like all the essentials, but they're comfort items. Now, 2 items right off the top. This is one of those ones that I've been trying out. Again, let's see if I can get it. It's the active ingredient is picaridin, I guess is how you pronounce it, maybe. But it's non-DEET, and that's a full bottle, which is a little excessive, but like I said, I'm experimenting with it. But also a Ben's ultralight head net, essential this time of year as far as I'm concerned. In here, a little ditty bag that just has a bunch of cordage, way more cordage than I need for today, but it's just my cordage bag. I got about a half a roll of 36 bank line and a bunch of paracord, 550 cord. I have my War Bonnet Outdoors ultralight rain jacket. You know, I can't remember how much he said it weighs, 6 ounces or something. That's a awesome high quality raincoat right there. And what else do I got? That's it. Oh yeah, the controversial item. This is a new one that I just bought. As you guys know, if you've been following my channel, I love these. I use them a lot. This makes it controversial because it says the word blanket, and there is no insulation, whatever you want to call it, value to this. This is not an insulator, it is a reflector. So they've actually banned the use of the word blanket on these packages in some countries because people think they're going to wrap up like these 2 people here on the cover and they're going to be all warm and cozy, and that's not the way that this works. This is a grade A+ reflector. It is a F- ultimate fail score of 0 insulator. So take that for what it is. You know, practice makes perfect. I've avoided doing any type of videos with these because it's so controversial and people get all huffy-puffy about it one way or the other. But as far as I'm concerned, it's a lightweight, essential piece of gear. It's, you know, this and my first aid kit, which also has, you know, fire lighting capabilities, are 2 items I never leave home without. You know, I mean, I always have those 2 items. So a food bag, a gear bag. If this was an overnighter, there would be the sleep gear and the shelter and a tarp, and that would be it. This is the life, people. It feels so incredible to get rid of all the warm weather essential gear that you have to have in your backpack. Now, I love cold weather. I love cold weather hiking, snowshoeing. I mean, I've camped out several times this winter, hammock camped in the wintertime for the first time several times this winter, and it's awesome. But, I mean, not counting food, water, and fuel, if I were to take the gear that I showed you guys and add my hammock, lightweight sleeping bag, underquilt, and a tarp, I could overnight camp with that, and it would weigh, again, not counting the food, water, and fuel, it would probably weigh less than 12 pounds. It might be even less than 10 pounds. I don't know. I got a new hammock rig that I'm going to be, flying the Ridge Runner by War Bonnet this year. So last year's ultralight backpacking, I don't want to say backpacking, camping, lightweight camping adventures were awesome, because to only have 12 to 14 pounds on your back with your food and everything, and I use a belt kit, so like my saw, my knife, my fire kit and everything's on my belt, so it's just awesome. That's all I can say. It's just awesome. It's liberating. It takes practice. It takes growing your skill set in a few areas, so you can leave items at home, and really knowing what you need and what you just like to have with you, because there's a big difference. But when you're starting off with a backpack that weighs 8 ounces, it weighs a half a pound, opposed to a 4-pound backpack, you're already 3.5 pounds ahead of the game. So, I'm lucky that I came across that inexpensive, lightweight backpack. But I know I've mentioned it before, but Kenneth Cram does an awesome ultralight backpack camping series, where he's just using an inexpensive backpack you can get at Walmart, the $25 range backpack, and just the essential gear, the gear that you need, not necessarily the gear that you want, but it depends on what you want. If you want to hike and cover lots of distance, then leaving the extras at home is key. If you're only going to walk 2 miles into the woods and you have that destination planned, then 20 pounds isn't a big deal. It's not a big deal at all. It's a half-hour walk. 30 pounds isn't a big deal. 35 pounds isn't a big deal. But if you're like me and you like to just meander on through the woods, up and down and all around, and then find a place, you might go 5 miles, you might go 10 miles, you might go through swamps, you might go over whatever, it's nice to only have 15 pounds, including all your water and food and everything on your back. It's such a big difference. Now that I'm getting, I don't want to say I'm getting older, but I'm beat up. I've been tough on my body through the years. I'm 40 years old, and I can't hike for 20 miles with a 30-pound backpack on and enjoy myself. With that 12-pound backpack, 15-pound backpack, I can hike all day and, well, plain and simple, feel half of the fatigue. My knees aren't killing me at the end. My ankle, which both I've injured several times, that makes a big difference. I'm out here to enjoy it, right? So, anyway, I'll stop preaching to the choir. You guys can, take the information and run with it. It's the first time that I've come down here in the spring, and I'm very glad I did. It's just awesome to be down here again. Go into the woods, eat a carrot, film it, share it with us. Well, that was a lot of fun. I just did a live stream, and actually, people actually joined. Shout out to all you guys that were on the live stream. So that was a good, successful first try. So on my future adventures, I'll definitely be checking to see if I can do a live stream and actually have some slightly more interesting content than just me walking around with my phone in my hand blabbering. Cappuccino was awesome. I look forward to going over this footage and, whoops, hey, how about I put my heavy cover away and not leave it out here in the middle of the woods. But yeah, I look forward to going over the footage and seeing the different things that I tried and knowing how it works, so that I can film my future adventures. Yeah, this backpack is really nice for lightweight. That stuff that I have in there probably weighs, I don't know, I'm going to guess maybe 6 or 7 pounds, including the water and the stove and all that stuff. So if I were to add a 3-pound hammock and underquilt setup with a lightweight top quilt and, you know, my 1 pound Nature Calls tarp, I'd probably be looking at around 12, 13 pounds doing overnighter. Let's do that next time I get a chance. I'm going to Tool next weekend. Whoop. Just make sure we're all good. Left it as you found it. Yep. No trash left behind or anything. But yeah, I'm going to Tool next weekend, and Shannon and I are staying in a hotel, and it's our big anniversary celebration. So, and then the next weekend following that is Katahdin, and then I do actually have a weekend off, but no, I don't, because that's Tyra's graduation weekend. My daughter's graduating high school. Yay! And then the following weekend would be going to Michigan. So, geez, I don't know when I'm going to be able to just do a camp out. A regular old camp out. Should I try and walk across this? Hey, someone's been here with a saw. Anywho, I'm going to make my way across this little wetland, up that hill, cut it right up to the railroad tracks instead of walking along the what am I trying to say? River. Ugh. In any case, it was awesome hanging out with you guys. I'll try and edit this video down so that it's not so stupid. And I'm going to walk across this log so I don't get my feet all soaking wet in the swamp. So anyway, it was great hanging out with you guys. They're having a gun show over there. Yep, great to hang out with the people of YouTube. You know, something that drives us strange outdoor YouTubians to film ourselves in the great wide open and share it with people. Anyway, I'm sure you guys don't want to hear me blabber anymore and walking through the woods. Hope you enjoyed it. Keep on rocking. I'll see you guys on the next one.